Hey piano people, I am so excited for today's video. We're gonna be talking about piano mindfulness, and I'm gonna give you a sneak peek into my process and 3 of the things that I think about when I think about piano mindfulness and how they help in the piano practice and piano performance process. Now, mindfulness is really just paying attention, and paying attention or being mindful is a hugely important skill in our piano practice because oftentimes when I interact with people that are struggling in their practice, it comes from a lack of attention to detail or a lack of concentration or a struggle to pay attention. And so in this video, I'm going to give you 3 different things to think about, things that you can incorporate into your practice routine to help you practice mindfulness. So the first thing that I want you to incorporate into your piano practice is numbers. And I'm going to tell you exactly how. There's 3 different ways that I use numbers in my practice to stay mindful and to pay attention. The first way to incorporate numbers is to use numbers to tally or to keep track of exactly how many times you play something incorrectly versus how many times you play it correctly. And this is not something that we do to torture ourselves or to highlight how bad of a job we're doing. It's actually exactly the opposite. In our practice, when we're drilling something over and over and we're really trying to focus on a tough spot and make it better, for every 1 mistake that we make or for every 1 time that we play it incorrectly, it takes 9 times of playing it correctly to cancel out that 1 wrong time. So that alone helps me pay attention when I can keep that ratio of numbers in the forefront of my mind. And so when you're practicing, you can actually make a little chart and you can have a column for the times you've played it incorrectly and you can have a column for the times you've played it correctly. And I want you to actually tally when you are drilling something. So let's say you're playing the measure over and over again. You're going to put a little tally if you did it incorrectly. You're going to put a little tally if you did it correctly. And it's going to become very apparent, very fast, how much you're paying attention, how many times you are actually playing something correctly versus how many times you're playing it incorrectly. And that can help give you information to make adjustments. If you're playing it all the time incorrectly in a row, it doesn't really mean anything other than you probably need to slow down or work on a smaller section or do it hands alone or something like that. You can incorporate numbers to make goals. So you can say to yourself, I want to play this section 5 times in a row correctly before I move on. Or I want to be able to play the piece 3 times in a row with a 95% success rate. Using numbers as concrete goals in our practice can really help us be mindful and give us a way to evaluate if we are in fact doing what we set out to do in our piano practice. Now, the last way that I incorporate numbers into my practice is to count out loud. And I feel like I am always a tape recorder on repeat when I talk about counting out loud. If you've been around and you've watched my videos, you know that counting out loud is so incredibly important. When you're counting out loud, it becomes almost impossible to get distracted because you're so focused on what you're doing. It takes all of your mental energy to be able to count out loud. And so you are really paying attention and really mindful when you are counting out loud. The second thing that I want you to incorporate into your practice in order to be more mindful or to be able to pay better attention is breath. This can be something as simple as getting in touch with your breath before you start practicing. So sitting on the piano bench and taking 3 deep breaths or taking 5 deep breaths or breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4 and repeating that until you feel calm and until you feel focused and until you feel your headspace open so that you can start your practice routine. Incorporating breathing into your practice could look like writing breathe into your music. This is something that I'm a huge fan of and that I encourage the people that I work with to do as well. If there are spots in your music that cause tension or spots that you are afraid of or spots that are technically challenging, writing breathe in our music can be a really great visual reminder to actually breathe when we're practicing, which funnily enough can be hard to do. I used to have a professor in college who would scream breathe at me because sometimes when I was playing really intense music, I would just stop breathing because I was so focused on other things. A third way that we can incorporate breath into our practice that is very beneficial is to make sure that we take a big deep breath in between repetitions of drilling. So if I'm taking a measure and I'm working on something that gives me a lot of trouble over and over and over again, I want to make sure that every time after I play that measure, I take a big deep breath and I think about what I'm doing and then I start. I don't want to just endlessly loop something over and over and over again, especially if I keep making mistakes, because that's going to be a great way to ensure that you practice something incorrectly and that your practice time is wasted. All right, the third thing that you can incorporate into your practice to help with mindfulness or paying attention, an awareness and a sense of time. And time comes into play a lot in our piano practice, right? It's one of the most common questions that I get actually is like, how long should I practice this? How long should I practice this? We can think about time from an overarching standpoint of how long is my practice session going to be? Is it going to be 20 minutes every day? Is it going to be 2 hours every day? It doesn't really matter how much time you're practicing as long as you are setting out to use that time as effectively and efficiently as possible. And when you think about how much time you're going to practice, I do want you to chunk it out into smaller sections. We can't really focus on something super intensely like practicing the piano that takes so many different kinds of awareness all at once for longer than about 15 minutes or 20 at the very, very maximum. But some people even say just 10. And so when I practice, even if I'm sitting there practicing for 3 hours, I'll set a timer for every 20 minutes and I'll force myself to stand up and just walk around the room or to look at something different for 30 seconds and let my eyes focus on something else, take a couple of breaths, think about something else for a minute, and then get back into the practice. The other way that we can think about time in our piano practice is how to manage our time at the piano and how to make sure that we are really utilizing the time in the most effective and in the most efficient way. And one of the ways that you can do that would be to get really clear on how to split up your practice time and how to ensure that you're using it very wisely. And I did an entire piano bootcamp about time management at the piano. And so if you need some help with that, I would highly suggest that you check out that video, and you can do that right here.